How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the Making Comics check-in with Marshall Lee and Chris McQuinlan. That is me. Marshall Lee is the other guy down below in the little avatar down here, wherever my hand's pointing.
Hello.
How are you doing?
All right, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Wow.
This is weird. How come it's displaying? Usually it switched back and forth, but now it's just showing both of us as little avatars. Is that normal?
No, I can see both of us. Everything seems to be fine on my end.
Hmm.
Yeah, everything looks
All
like.
right. Well, we'll just roll with it, whatever it is.
Yeah, cool, cool. Maybe we can put it down to like your phone playing up. Yeah, just to add to all your other other things playing up. But no, everything seems to be going cool. If it's not, please let us know in the chat if you guys are watching. So it's episode 12. We are definitely well into the double digits now of making comics and creating artwork and just dealing with life's little struggles. And there have been many over these past 12 weeks. It's actually been really interesting and very insightful for myself to be doing these episodes with you, Marshall, to see not only by checking in myself and actually recounting my steps throughout the week to see what little things have been getting in my way, but actually seeing how similar things affect other people's lives and how it affects their productivity as well. Obviously, there's a few other people like Corey Kerr and Josh Kemble who are doing their checking in, and then you've got there used to be Gaz and Mike doing their check-in, and now I believe we have Jan and Samurai Ox. And I think I'm correct in saying that possibly Peter Palmiotti is doing his own one. I saw someone today doing their own. No, sorry, I lie. It's Creed. Creed is doing his own solo check-in.
Oh yeah, we should put his link in there too. He's
Yeah.
been doing his own one. It's kind of interesting.
So doing these check-ins has been really insightful for me to see that I'm not the only one who goes through just life's little speed bumps and how it affects, my daily creation of artwork, but how it affects everyone else's. It's really quite cool. And I think for anyone who's actually watching this, who's never watched this, it's probably worth going backwards into some of the episodes. And if you actually check out Marshall's YouTube page, which we'll get a link for in a second, he's actually catalogued all of these in a playlist. So I highly recommend you check them out and actually see. So if you're actually in Struggle Town and you feel like you're all alone, you're not, and we're here documenting it for you. So let's kick things off. Firstly, Marshall, how are you? Where can people find you on the internet?
DonkeyDrawProjects.com and Instagram at Marshall Lee _DJP. And yeah, pretty much there.
Beautiful. Do you want to kick things off this week and tell us how you've been going?
Sure. So this week was pretty simple. I just worked on comics most of the time, and to be honest, my comics for towards the end of the week ended up being I posted a picture of a drawing of Tusk yesterday. My character from the Glyph comics, and he's like the elephant guy or whatever. And I kind of changed up his look, and seems like people are digging it. It's kind of very similar, but I gave him almost like a like Incredible Hulk type of body, and he's got like fingers now and stuff. So it's like he's more functional. I feel like I can use him better in the comic if he's not just basically just an elephant that stands up. So I redesigned him a little bit, and that drawing took me way too long, and so that took up a good chunk of the week. I did spend what I wanted to spend over 8 hours, but a lot of it was on that illustration, which was frustrating because it's like that's not really making comics, but it did have to do with like establishing the new design of a character. So, it is what it is, but it's not my favorite kind of thing. I did do some writing and stuff as well on Shadowstar, and I'm in some. I've been talking with a friend about possible collaboration stuff too as well. So I got things, irons in the fire or whatever, and I'm excited about what's coming. I also made a plan. Uh, I don't know if I call it. I guess it's like a goal to let's see, how many months do we have left in the year?
Not a lot. September, October, November, December. So 4.5.
4.5. Okay.
Just under.
So I made a goal that I want to get one issue finished of or one story finished. I think it's going to be a full issue length, and it's probably going to be Shadow Star. That's kind of what I'm pushing towards, and it's mostly because I want to get that done before the end of the year. I don't know if that means it'll be published, but at least be done, because I need to put some kind of guideline on myself right now, that is a little more strict because I've been spending a lot of time this year working on comics, but not a lot has come of it because a lot of it is in these development stages, and I don't have that much time in my life to be spending that much time on development stages. um I mean, I want to do some of it, of course, and make it a cool thing, but at the same time I need to get stories out. I need to be getting multiple stories out a year. So that's going to be my goal, to get one book out. There's other things, other irons in the fire, sure, but that's the one thing I need to do, and that's like a new goal. So, that means I have to get the writing done very soon, and then get whatever designs I need done very soon. Maybe I'm thinking like within this month, um, hopefully. And then if I can, once I get started on pages, I feel like, things will start to go quicker at that point. And so, yeah, it'd be cool to have it published by the end of the year. But, if I don't, if I at least get the book done, I don't think there's any reason why I shouldn't be able to. And also, apparently, I hear rumors and rumblings of some gearing up to do the anthology again. So if
Ah,
that's the case, that means that's going to come up, and I want to get something done before that happens, so that I can spend time on whatever that story is I'm going to do. So I want to get it done before the end of the year, something. So yeah, so
yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at with that.
nice. So with this comic, do you have an idea of how many pages you want to have? Do you want it to be sort of like a standard floppy issue, like 20 to 24 pages?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible that it might end up just being a short story, like half of that. I don't know. Even if that's the case, I'll be happy with that. But I feel like it's going to be more than that. I feel like it's going to be like a full actual issue, and I think that's kind of what I'm shooting for.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't mention I did read comics. Fue Storm, he's kind of been involved in the community and stuff. I don't, if everybody here knows him. You should definitely check out his YouTube channel. I love his stuff. He talks a lot about writing and just about comics in general, and he's really good at kind of talking about all this stuff. But I read his story Jericho. Um, so that was like almost 7 issues worth of reading comics. So I did got my reading
Wow.
comics in
Yeah.
um, this week, and it was a kind of a quick read. And if anybody wants to go check it out, you can just look up Jericho Fue Storm. I will warn you though, it's not for kids. It's like very mature content. So, but yeah, it was pretty cool. So I enjoyed it. It was a pretty quick read, and you know took about an hour or something. So
Okay, wow. So it took an hour for 6 issues, did you say? 6 or 7 issues.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Interesting.
So
I
yeah,
always like to
how
think,
was your week? What's that?
always like to think about how long it takes to read, like the comic that I've done, for example, like how long that will actually take readers to read, whether it's like 5 minutes or 15 minutes, like and what how people value time on that. Like if I was to buy seven whole comics, but that only attributed to an hour's worth of entertainment, like is it worth it?
Right.
Yeah. I mean it was like you obviously enjoyed it and that wasn't a concern for you. But it's only been
Yeah, no, as I was reading, I wanted to
yeah,
just keep going and hear the rest of the story. And yeah, same with me, like with the mini comics and stuff, like all my stuff that I've made so far takes like a minute or so to read.
yeah. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's probably sort of attributed to how long it takes to actually create them. It's like it's
Yeah.
like the payoff is a couple of minutes worth for someone rather than um, like the amount of time that you've invested into actually doing it. But like it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird thing that my head does.
Yeah, I think about that stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, so my week's been really interesting. We did our video on Monday last week, is that correct?
Yep.
We had a full week. We have had a full week. Okay. So my week started off normally. I had set up a schedule for Monkey Junk and the How to Draw book
Mm-hmm.
to sort of give an idea of how long it'll take me to do anything. Um, so I pretty much just continued to slog into the children's book and sorry, the sorry, Monkey Junk and just try and get that book finished as quickly as possible, which I did manage to finish this weekend, which is awesome. Um, one little hiccup happened. I had done the lettering the week before in Illustrator, and when I went to open it, the file was corrupted, so I had to re-letter the whole page, which was a real pain in the butt. So I lost about an extra hour's worth of work, but I made up for it on Saturday, and it is officially finished.
Awesome.
That will be going up on Patreon tomorrow for anyone who's on there, which is nice. It's nice to be able to post some stuff to Patreon again. As you can probably see on my screen, I'm currently working on doing the ads for the Monkey Junk comic. In the back, there's going to be like classified ads and stuff. So I'm just putting together some little advertising promotions, which sort of attribute to sort of small ways that I can do some world building.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone who's reading it, they can go, okay, there's this donut shop called FG Donuts, but then the idea is in the next comic, that's going to be like one of the first places you will see in the book.
Mm.
So, like you're already sort of in tune that this place exists. So when it happens, like if you're reading along within the story, it's a little bit more seamless as well, which I think is sort of cool. And I'm also working on another one, which will be a ad for a travel agency, which will be a bit interesting too. So these are fun. I've just got to finish these two, and then they are ready to send the whole book to print, which is awesome. But what made my week interesting was a couple of weeks ago I'd finished up the children's book, which I've mentioned, but the writer who was working on it had asked me if I would be willing to work on the next book, and what my guideline, my timeline was, and quote the book up and everything. And I had been giving it a couple of weeks thought, and not sure whether or not I really wanted to do it. And I had a good chat with Jazz about it, and I got in touch with them, and I said yes. I pretty much said yes, but this time around, being the new financial year, have increased my prices. So I was almost expecting them to say no because I would be charging them more than I normally would. And
Right.
this book was a little bit more complex than the last books I've done, so it was considerably more regardless. Once I'd
Mm-hmm.
once I'd added in that price increase, and it bumped it up a little bit more significantly as well. But thankfully, they said yes. Now, my reasoning behind this, because I know that I specifically said once that children's book was done that I wouldn't do another children's book, at least for a while. But just after that had finished, we were sort of looking at our finances and some of the debt that we have, and I'd figured out that if I did one more children's book, just the advance payment would allow us to pay off one complete debt.
Right.
We've dwindled it down over time, but getting that advance payment would just wipe it out completely. It's one less debt we don't have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I want to do the how to draw book and everything, it made more sense to get myself footed financially and then focus on the important things. So I can still work on the. I've got a little schedule now where I can still sort of work on everything, but I'll be putting a really heavy focus on Monkey Junk and the children's book, and just sort of slugging away at the how to draw book, little pieces over time. So whenever I do anything for that book, I'll be putting it up onto Patreon for anyone to see. But I'll be sort of stockpiling everything until it's ready to go to print before I start posting it online for free as well. So it's a little bit of a road bump in the plans that I'd originally had, but hopefully by doing this, it'll put myself and my family in a better place as well.
Right.
So, yeah, that's been interesting. So I wasted a night putting all the quoting together and getting the contracts ready for them. And then I spent a night like planning everything out and what I was going to do for the layouts. And I've also been spending a bunch of time doing the layouts as well. So most of my time this week has really been focused on finishing that bonus page, like finishing the inks, getting the grey tones done, getting the lettering redone, annoyingly, working on these new ad pages, and and then now the children's book. So that's sort of been, as the name of the this episode sort of states, is like I've had to sort of plan all of these changes to refit into my life, but for a better purpose in the long run, hopefully. So unless something really drastic happens and I have to spend all the money that I get on something else, like my car breaking down or whatever, like fingers crossed it doesn't happen, it's going to be put me into a better place. So I'm really thankful to have the opportunity at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's sort of been my week. I've been really hustling on Instagram lately too. I really want to get the Monkey Junk Instagram page like more prominent. Currently, we're sitting just under 200 followers, which I feel is pretty good because it's only been up for a few weeks. But I still really want to hustle because if I want to get the Kickstarter done in the next month, let's say, hopefully earlier, which will sort of tie in with everything else. So it's going to be really insane these next few weeks, which it always is. But the more followers, the more attention I can get onto the Instagram, hopefully that will sort of have a payoff when it comes to doing the Kickstarter. So really, I'm just trying to get people from one social media platform onto the Webtoons platform to read the comic. And I am noticing an increase in viewership and an increase in interaction. There's not a lot of comments, but there's more likes coming through, more subscribers, but it's still a really slow burn, which I'm fine with. I'm really starting to become far more comfortable with the fact that this is going to be a really long game, trying to get Monkey Junk to a point where a lot of people know about it and a lot of people are talking about it and care about it as much as I do. And thankfully, unlike all the other comics I've done, this is an ongoing series now. So now that the first is finished and it's in people's hands and people start to get excited about it, they know that there's more coming. Whereas with Nevermore, people got really excited, waited for the sequel, and then I was like, oh, there's no sequel. And then, that was it. People lost interest really quickly. So hopefully I can deliver and hopefully that will sort of increase. And sort of along the lines of like what Kevin Cross has always been trying to do with Monkey Mod, I'm probably in a roundabout way trying to do with Monkey Junk. I really want it to be a brand. I want it to be more than a comic book. I want it to be other things. I'm already loosely planning ideas for a way to do a mini comic strip, which will be Instagram based, because those are quite popular, like little 4-panel Instagram things. Really simple comic about a head, literally a robot's head, and it really sort of witty, just simple, dumb comics. that people get a bit of a laugh out, but it sort of develops a universe and will get people interested in reading the other comic as well. Um,
Right.
but these are all time things, like that thing's not going to happen for a couple of months, but I at least have a couple of months to generate ideas and think about it and mull it over. Um,
Right.
I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about the long game for Monkey Junk and what that means, but um, as far as like whatever my routine means for now, Monkey Junk is going to still be as prominent as it always has ever been for me. I don't think I'll ever put that back into the back burner again. I won't allow myself
Yeah.
to.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's good to know, kind of, to have that, so you have something to shoot for, and keep focused on. And it makes sense, there's different characters, and there's so many different places you can go with that book. Like, sounds like you can really, have a good outlet to express all your ideas and stuff, and then also do some ancillary work, like you're saying, with the comic strip and stuff, which I think that's a great idea. It's definitely, that kind of stuff is similar to stuff I've thought about for my books too, if I could only stick to one.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Like I've got other ideas for other comics and because I suppose because I'm not working on my own, I have to be accountable to the other person involved. So that kind of keeps me more leveled. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, one of my friends actually, he's been talking about like, yeah, he's got so many ideas very similar to you, um, that he wants to just do all of them, but he knows that he can't. And he just bought himself like a really good notebook so he could take everything out of his phone because he'd been writing tons of notes on his phone to just write them all into his notebook. And he's got this notebook as a physical piece of evidence to go, okay, when he does get around to finishing a project, he can go to that and work through it, or he can continue adding to that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminded me of you in that way. That, yeah, there's
Yeah.
his mind's just constantly burning through ideas faster than he can create them. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, and that's like another thing for us too. Is like there are ideas for Monkey Junk like pumping through that we know that eventually, if we get to the level that we'd like to be, we'd like to introduce other artists on board to do short
Mm-hmm.
stories or to do even to do fan art, to do guest covers, things like that. Um,
Cool.
one for the sake of I'd like to be able to hire other artists and pay them for the
Mm-hmm.
work to build the universe, but also I'd like to, from a marketing perspective, get some bigger names on board to be involved and to help grow the readership of the story. So if they
Mm-hmm.
come on for whoever the artist is, like let's say hypothetically Scotty Young, if I could ever afford to get his time and skills onto the book,
Mm-hmm.
once that's out, I mean Scotty Young's got tens of thousands of followers, so that would then translate over into a new readership, hopefully. So
Wow.
yeah,
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I got a book right here from an indie creator with a Scotty Young cover on it.
that looks beautiful.
Yeah, doesn't it? It's awesome, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
And
if the price is right, like let's just say that they can't do it. So yeah, I'm trying to treat. It sounds really. I try and think of this in the perspective of other creators, and then I tell myself that it doesn't matter. But it probably sounds really ridiculous that I'm trying to treat Monkey Junk as a business, not a comic book. But I think
not really.
if I want it to be successful, it has to be a business.
Yeah.
So
No, I think that's the right way to think about it. That's the way
yeah,
artists don't typically think about it, but probably should.
correct. Yeah, I think the exact same way. And I'm all for people who just want to create books because they want to create books. But if you
Mm-hmm.
really want to do something with the property that you have, you need to treat it more than just a story. You need to treat it as a business. You need to treat it as an income, a product that you can sell. Um, it's really interesting. Like my frame of mind's been really switching over lately. It's kind of good and it's kind of scary at the same time. Sort of thinking of this idea of like being some entrepreneur in comics. Like it just seems like such a ridiculous concept, but at the same time, it's like, well, if I can make it work, why not? Might as well do it.
Well, I heard something recently, and this is actually from a piece of content that is only for pay mostly, but I'll just drop this one little tidbit. Will Terry was talking about this thing. He said that basically um, artists are actually like natural entrepreneurs because what entrepreneurs do is they have an idea and they kind of risk everything to make that idea happen.
Yeah,
And they kind of, they're like the dreamers of the world who put their dreams into action, and then even though things seem against them or they don't know if it'll work out, but they have like this vision or whatever. And that's artists do that all the time. We just don't do it in a business way, we do it more creatively generally, but that doesn't mean that those tendencies and skills can't translate over to more business mindset as well.
yeah, completely. That's a really cool way to look at it. Thanks for sharing that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully it works out. Again, I have to remind myself it's a long game. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've been playing the long game for years with my artwork alone, and I've built a fan base on that. Now uh, it's just bringing them over to this next thing. So hopefully they're invested enough in what I'm already doing that they'll be interested. And I think
Oh,
one of the things
sure.
that's holding me back as far as my sort of my investment goes in and my hopes that this is going to grow is that currently I sort of have a physical book to actually sell. Everything's online for free, which is good because it's building up readership, it's building up fans, but I don't actually have a product to sell. And in comics, there are a vast majority who would much rather just buy the comic book. And once I have the comic book, I can sell it to shops and such, and build a larger awareness for the book as well. And I want to like talk to shops about how I can actually look at getting prime position or how I can advertise the book or get them to push the book further rather than just taking it and putting it on the shelves. Like, what do I need to do to get them to sell my book more?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Once the Kickstarter's done, I'll be able to look at these things a little bit further. But for now, I'm really just trying to focus on just getting this thing finished so I have a product to sell. And then I have to continue working on the next product and the next product, etc. There's heaps of work.
Yeah, I mean, this Kickstarter's kind of a big deal. It'll be a kind of a litmus test to see, is this thing, viable, and I think it will be. I think all your people who were down for the other stuff you were doing will be down for this, and you'll probably get more, hopefully.
Yeah, thanks, man. And like even like everyone who does a Kickstarter would probably understand is like even though it's the second one after a successful one, I still don't have hopes that it'll succeed. Like I'm still worried that it won't do
Yeah,
well. Um, yeah, but that's just sort of the nature of the beast with Kickstarters. Like I'm I'm mentally not getting my hopes up already. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely natural.
yeah. Um, so yeah, I know we're strapped for a little bit of time today, but let's get into you, man. What's your next week got ahead of you?
Still the same goals, pretty much. Just gonna try to put in 8 or more hours in the comic. I want to get a chunk of the writing done and hopefully maybe even fully done. And then I want to start moving into whatever concept art I have to do. I'm thinking maybe I'll try to focus on key concept things, just a few key things that I have to do, and then maybe start jumping into pages quicker than I get like all the ideas out and just try to do some of the concept stuff on the fly.
Yeah,
So this week I'm gonna try to focus on the writing, see how far I can get with that, and just also try to get this all of my like commissions finished up, and as much as I can, and get these things sent out and stuff. So that's about it for me.
I'd completely forgotten that you were still working on the commissions too. That's hectic.
Yeah, so I'll be doing that, and also, of course, I want to read some comics too. I just got in Wonton Soup, the second one,
Yeah.
um, and I also got in this book called Gorillas, I think it's called, and I forget what the guy's name is, but yeah, it looks really cool, so I'm interested to read that.
Nice. I should add, I did actually read a comic this week too. I managed to
Awesome.
finish, yeah, I managed to finish that Andrew McLean book that I picked up a while ago.
Mm.
Because I had to go to the city last week for a retail expo for work, and I took that on the
Hmm.
train with me. Unfortunately, I'd read more than I'd realized, and I finished it within like 20 minutes. So I still had a 40-minute train ride to go.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I did read, that was awesome, and it was a really good book too. I was actually super happy with the ending. Um,
That's cool.
yeah, that's rad, man. Are you looking at delegating any tasks for your comic, by the way? Like, are you looking help with layouts or help with, are you going to be
Um,
curating it and etc.
yeah, I don't know. It's possible. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't thought too much that far into it yet, but I know I'm definitely going to do the penciling and probably the inking. Um, so I don't know. I might end up doing everything. I might have some help. I'm definitely open to the possibility. It's just, you know, I don't always have the money to pay somebody, or I don't really never have the money to pay somebody. So,
But like at this stage in where I'm at, like I definitely love more practice doing lettering. So
hmm.
depending how time goes when you get to it, like I might be able to help you with that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So
I mean, I can do lettering, but I'd be happy to have somebody else do it, and you'd probably do it better than me because you have more experience. So
well, I've only got so much experience, but it'd be great to get a bit more practice for myself. So
cool,
like that option is always there for you.
sweet. Well,
Yeah.
we shall
Um,
see. Thank you.
you're welcome. I just looked at the comments, and Dave Hingley has just put a comment in saying, in regards to what I was saying before about how about selling an e-comic. So he said, I don't buy a ton of comics because I don't have physical space, but ebooks take up no space. And that's definitely something I'm going to be looking into as well. I've noticed that a lot of people still get their books up on like Comixology and such. So I'll be looking at not only selling it directly from my web store, but I'll also be putting it up on Comixology and any other space that I can put it onto. So that way, at least everyone can get like all of the full content that you won't get within like the web comic format. So yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for the comment, dude. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, so I've got to talk about my week, don't I? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I'm so spaced out today. um, yeah, well, for me, it's just hopefully I can finish these ads within the next day. I'm on holidays for the next week. I've still got a bit of a busy week ahead, but I have more time to be able to do my comic stuff. So, um, with any luck, I should have this book off to the printers to get a proof done, which will be awesome. Once I have the proof, I can 100% invest time into getting the Kickstarter ready. Um, that's probably been the only thing that's really been putting me on pause. Um, aside from that, I'm just going to be pumping out the children's book. I've got about 5 more pages left of layouts to do, which I'm going to work on tonight after this. Um, tomorrow, I actually have a friend of mine who's doing a documentary on me, coming in to do a whole ton of interviewing and stuff and film me working and just filming my studio and things.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I don't know. One, I don't know why he asked me to do it because I'm no one, but I think he just wants to like we've been friends for a long time and he does documentaries for a living, and I think he's just sort of seen a general interest in me and like my progression into comic books, and he's interested in comic books himself. So I think he just wants to get that perspective and build something out of it. So that'll be really interesting. as you know me, like once someone asks me a question, I can talk for hours. So um, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It'll be weird, but a lot of fun. And I also have a meeting with the writer of Monkey Junk on Wednesday because he has some time in the morning. So we'll be going over a few things with Monkey Junk and some of the future of things like the Kickstarter, etc. So we can get into that. But otherwise, it's just going to be working on Monkey Junk and working on this children's book as much as I possibly can. Um, I want to get this children's book done as quickly as possible, so I'm probably going to be hustling like every single night that I can to
Yeah.
try and smash it out as quickly as possible. It's still 12 pages, it's 12 illustrations. So
Mm-hmm.
theoretically, as far as my timeline goes, that's like 3 months worth of work because I'd probably get maybe one illustration done a week. But I'm really going to try and like push out 2 to 3 a week if I can manage it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of work. I'll probably do a few extra late nights and things like that. But the sooner it's done, the sooner I get paid, and the sooner I can get back onto the other things that I want to build up properly. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So that's about it, I think. That and yeah, just keep hustling on Instagram and keep growing that and getting people into the comic. Just trying to get
Awesome.
people reading it. Yeah,
That sounds great, man. Sounds
yeah,
like you got a lot going on.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I'll be able to fit some stuff in there too at some point.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Have we got much longer to go? Can we answer any
Nah,
questions? If anyone has any questions, or
yeah, I do have to get going.
cool,
But Dave, we appreciate you being in here and hanging out with us and
definitely.
everybody else on the replay too.
Yeah, as always, it's always a weird time for most people to jump on, especially like from the States and stuff. So we appreciate all you guys watching the video. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap things up. Um, Marshall, where can we find you online again?
Still donkeydropprojects.com and Marshall_DJP on Instagram.
So it hasn't changed from the half an hour ago that we asked you? No?
No, no,
Okay.
not yet. Surprisingly.
Well, that's good. At least you keep it consistent. I like it. You guys can catch me on Chris McQuinlan Art on Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff. And if you want to check out the Instagram for Monkey Junk, you can check out Monkey Junk Comic, and that'll also link you to the web comic there as well. And you can catch a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff. I've been like super active there, like posting 2 to 3 times a day. So if you guys want a whole ton of Monkey Junk goodies, you can go there and get involved and have a chat too. And Twitter, I'm always on Twitter at Chris McQuinlan Art as well. So cool. That should wrap it up. I'm pretty much ready to go to bed, but I know I'm going to stay up and draw anyway. You're off to work. I wish you a great day, sir.
You too. Have a good rest of your night.
Will do. And good luck this week. Good luck with all of your goals, and I look forward to hearing about it next week.
You too, man.
All right, man. Catch you later.
Later.